All right, guys, so today I have something very cool I want to show you. A product that has not even released yet. They're actually doing a press event for it today where you can actually pre-order the product and it comes out next month. And I'm of course talking about the ASUS ROG Ally. This is the Extreme model that we have here, and I'm just blown away that ASUS decided to send me this device because obviously I'm trying to get more into mini PCs and emulation devices and handheld gaming devices. I have a Steam Deck, I have a Switch, but this was something that really piqued my interest because this thing sounds like an absolute monster. We actually have a price point for this device, as well as there are going to be two variants of this system. This is the Extreme model, the top of the line model, and it's coming in at $699. That's right, folks, under $700 for this. So what is this thing capable of? What are the specs of it? How does it play games? Does it emulate well? What is this all about? And is this a Steam Deck killer? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. So if this is your first time on the channel, welcome. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Without any further ado, let's just dive into this bad boy. All right, so while we unbox this with my Neanderthal hands, let's go over some of the specifications of this bad boy, the ROG Ally. Now, this is featuring AMD's new Ryzen Z1 Extreme chip. This is the Extreme model, the top of the line model as it would be, and it has RDNA 3 graphics technology in it. It has 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5 RAM, so obviously a very strong and capable system. It has 512 gigabytes of PCIe SSD storage, which you can expand. So you got SSD storage, makes everything nice and quick. And it has a 1080p screen that's 120 hertz per second. So this is a true HD handheld system. The Nintendo Switch screen is, of course, a 720p screen. The Steam Deck screen is 1200 by 800, so it's kind of a weird thing, almost HD, almost kind of not. But this is full HD if you want it to be. This kind of made me mad though. I was like, what is in here that is so secretive? Like, this has to be something really cool. You know, it's difficult to open. I can't figure it out. I'm losing my mind. I'm ripping the tag off of it. Like, what is it? What is being... It's instructions. ASUS, we got to do something about that, ASUS. I'm not a fan. Not a fan of the instruction setup there, but that's what comes in the box of this system. And then we also have this little egg crate sort of stand thing, which allows you to stand up the system on it. I mean, it's cool, you know, it gets the job done, but it's definitely like an egg crate. It's not plastic or anything like that. Here's a look at the system itself. We have some RGB lighting on the analog sticks that feel very nice. Our D-pad, our face buttons. We have some triggers on the system as well. Buttons on the top, SD card storage on there, different plugins sort of things, headphone jack, volume control, power button, very basic stuff or whatever. But I think the overall design of the system is nice. We have our trigger buttons, we have triggers on the back as well. Only one set of triggers on the back. The Steam Deck actually has two sets of triggers. And yeah, I mean, obviously you could tell that this system is a little bit smaller than a Steam Deck. It's a little bit lighter too. I think the weight distribution of this system feels better than a Steam Deck does. A Steam Deck's kind of top heavy, but of course, comparing it to a Nintendo Switch, I mean, well, the results show themselves. I mean, the Switch is a tiny boy. Now, this is pretty cool. This is the gaming charging dock from ROG that works with this device. Now, what I like about this is essentially your dock for your system. So if you want to connect it to a television, which you can do, it makes it nice and easy. But what's even better about this is it has a USB port on it as well. So if you have an external hard drive that you want to connect to this device, as it is essentially a Windows device, you can do that. Or if you have, you know, anything, a controller that you want to do, you can just plug it in here. So I'll show you guys how to set it up. It's very easy to set up in a little bit when we actually use it. But this is the little plug itself, you know, very sleek in design, but I definitely like this, and I think this is a must-have accessory for the device. Now, this is pretty cool. This is the Armory Crate SE, which basically has like a command center where you can do different adjustments to games, either on a case-by-case basis or just an overall device sort of setting here. And more importantly, it allows you to access all of your games basically into one sort of setting. So you could do, you know, have your Steam games, you can have your Xbox games, your Epic Store games, and it's all in this one thing, which I think is very cool. You can adjust things like your refresh rate, your screen resolution as well, so that, you know, if you're on the go and you want to conserve some battery, you can do that. It's just very nice how it's very easy to access. You know, it's just a simple button press that's on the face of the device here itself, and I like that. I think that's a very good thing to have, because you could sort of switch things up on the fly. If you're at home, you can make the system, you know, work to full capacity. And this is the game library aspect. I hadn't added anything in quite yet. I was still downloading my Spider-Man from my Steam account. But yeah, I'm definitely liking a lot from this system so far. We're going to turn the system on here, and this is just a clean boot up of it. And I mean, it's a Windows PC through and through. It's running Windows 11 on it. And as you'll see, like, it's essentially just a PC in the palm of your hand, whereas the Steam Deck, it was kind of more so a Steam device that you could access PC-like features. I feel like this is actually just a PC that's extremely well optimized with a beautiful screen. And let me tell you, these speakers on this bad boy, they have some bass to them. The speakers are light years beyond what you get on the Steam Deck or the Nintendo Switch. So I just wanted to show you guys the boot up process, how quick it is to get into a system with this. We have our game library now. This is a better look at the Armory Crate SE, and we could do our different settings and stuff like that, like I showed you before. Very cool stuff. I think this is a very genius idea, and I like just how easy it is to access all this stuff. I like that it pops up when you start up the system, because this is what you're going to be spending time doing, you know, accessing your games, and having a way to access your library in a simple manner is very nice. And like I said, you know, we got a touch screen here as well. It's a Windows PC. You could do whatever you want based on Windows. You want to browse the internet, you want to browse your files, you could browse to your heart's content. I will say the touchscreen is a little bit, you know, it's kind of because a lot of these icons are super small. It can be very tricky to kind of touch them. I'm sure there's a way to blow it up and, you know, make it bigger, but I just never really fiddled around with it too much because it worked. You know, my hands aren't that big anyways, but, you know, very cool stuff. I like how this is a PC. You know, I like, because I'm familiar with a PC. I don't have to learn a new operating system like you might have to do with some other devices out there. Now, so this is a look at the screens. Obviously, this is a full 1080p image versus an 800p image, and just playing through Spider-Man on this system at high settings was a joy. It was a breeze. I'm going to show you guys the settings that I'm using right here so you can see, yes, I am indeed using very high settings, or the high settings with this, and I'm having absolutely no issues whatsoever. The game is looking great, running great, and playing great. I mean, we're talking about a PlayStation 4 game here. This is the remastered edition. So a PlayStation 4 game running at high settings in the palm of your hand. That is insane. That is the future of gaming, in my opinion. You know, everything feels really good. Everything is very responsive. There's no sort of lag. Testing out the controls themselves, I will say this little trigger here, I don't like it. It's a little too small for my liking. And, you know, it kind of hinders me a little bit because it's very tiny, and like my hands aren't very big, but I find myself hitting those maybe sometimes when I don't mean to. I like the L2 and R2 triggers because they sort of concave in, but these two triggers, they're just kind of up top, and they're kind of small. You know, they're kind of just small. The analog sticks themselves feel great though. The face buttons, the D-pad, everything feels very nice. But of course, I'm an emulation YouTuber, so we're gonna set up the charging dock here, and I've already downloaded Xenia on my device along with a copy of GoldenEye Reloaded. So we're going to plug this into the top of our device here, and then we simply take that plug and plug it into a wall, and we're done. And hey, look at this. I have an external controller. It is worth mentioning that I could not use the analog sticks and the face buttons for the ROG Ally on Xenia. I actually had to use the controller. I know Xenia is kind of weird to begin with anyways. I just wanted to mention that though, if you're wondering like, how am I playing the game? But yeah, I'm using an external controller here, a USB controller, and this is Xbox 360 running perfectly on this system. Now, I will say this bad boy was running a little hot. Like the fans were definitely kind of going into overtime with this, and you know, the system itself was running very hot. I'm sure the battery life was depleting at a rapid rate. You know, it's a similar battery life to something like the Steam Deck is concerned. You know, you're not going to get Nintendo Switch numbers on a dim screen out of this, and it ran very hot, but this is huge and promising for emulation on this system. So let's go ahead and wrap things up and give you guys my final thoughts about this, at least so far with this system. So let's go back to my original question. Is this a Steam Deck killer? It's a little bit more expensive than a Steam Deck, but I mean, yes, dude. When you look at things, even if you take away the technical aspects of it, how it's a more powerful system and how it's something that, you know, is going to be able to play even newer games and even better games than the Steam Deck can, just the better screen, the better audio. The audio on this is so good. I can't really sort of showcase it because I don't really have a way to, but these speakers are just so beefy. And it's like, this is an upgrade to a Steam Deck. I love the fact that it's just a Windows 11 device as well, because it's very easy to add emulators. It's very easy to do everything. And of course, the pre-packaged software that's in here as well makes it very easy to access all of your games no matter where they are. So this thing is an absolute home run. I wish these triggers were a little bit different. Come on, ASUS. You had to know that that trigger wasn't too good. And the thing does get extremely warm sometimes. There are some worries about battery life and stuff like that. The fans do seem to work pretty well, but they can get very noisy, especially on more intensive games. But that's sort of like the Steam Deck and any of these handheld devices. Overall, the build quality is excellent, minus those little trigger buttons that I don't care for, and I'm absolutely blown away by this. I think it's such an awesome device. I love the little charging dock thing that has the HDMI out and the USB out as well. Like, that's such a game changer for me, because now you can add your USB controllers and stuff like that. Absolutely fantastic. This is a fantastic device, and they knocked it out of the park, man. I highly suggest, if you are interested in handheld gaming PCs and things of that nature, pre-order this, because I feel like this is going to be a very popular item because of the fact that it does everything that the Steam Deck does, but honestly, it does it a hell of a lot better. So huge thank you to ASUS for sending this over. Like, I love this thing, and I'm gonna have so much fun putting emulators and stuff on here. Let me know if you want to see more videos based on the ASUS ROG Ally on the channel in the comments section down below. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. Hit the bell notification as well. Once again, big thank you to ASUS for sending this over, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.